Hello, 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 everyone. This is Gresham Harkless from CEO Chat and CEO Blog Nation. And today we had a phenomenal guest. We had Sage Steeves from Create Your Life Inc. And she touched on who she is, her business, and what a business or a coach in general does. But I think the thing that really resonated with me in this chat was she tackled the idea of fear and how it's living and breathing. And she gave us some startling statistics about how fear actually paralyzes and hurts people, but even took it a step further. So we learned exactly how we as business owners or entrepreneurs or even people can really fight that fear. So what I wanted to do was just to kind of read her bio so you can get an idea of who she is, and then we'll go right into the CEO chat. This is Gresham Harkless here with CEO Chat and CEO Blog Nation. We have a special guest with us. We have Tara Steeves. She's a business coach, and I just wanted to thank you for taking some time out of your schedules, Tara.
Glad to be here. No problem. My pleasure.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, what I wanted to do, we always have awesome guests here where we get to speak and learn a little bit about what they do, how they started their businesses, and even advice and tips where we can be better entrepreneurs and business owners and CEOs. So what I wanted to do was, of course, to introduce Tara. So I wanted to read your read your bio, and we can learn a little bit more about you. So Tara is an international coach, speaker, twice published author, and holistic leader. Tara believes that dreams are the voice of our soul, and listening is our gift to the world. She is devoted to helping driven dreamers and what she often refers to as closeted creatives identify, nurture, and manifest their dreams. People who are feeling stuck, overwhelmed, restless, and even trapped are tired of saying maybe someday. She does so with a creative vigor through a variety of programs, the most popular of which is her renowned Dream Acceleration Program. Tara has touched the lives of thousands from not only across the country, but around the world. One person at a time, supporting them in how to break free from what no longer fits, how to course correct, and how to find fun again, and how to profoundly accelerate the realization of life, dreams, and goals. While her official title is Dream Acceleration Master Coach, Tara thinks of herself as a freedom fighter on behalf of your dreams, the ones that have been tucked away, forgotten, or are buried under a heavy pile of I can't because. Without further ado, I want to introduce Tara.
Thank you so much, Gresham. I'm so glad to be here with you.
Yes, so am I. Definitely, this is one I've been definitely looking forward to. Definitely getting to see your website and read about what you do. So I know that we're all dreamers, entrepreneurs and business owners are known to be dreamers. So I'm really looking forward to kind of talk with you to realize not just how to dream, but how to make them come true.
Likewise.
Cool. So just to start things out, what I like to do is I have a couple questions that I want to ask you. Call them speed round questions or icebreaker questions. So I'm just going to fire some questions at you and just let you answer.
Okay.
Just to break the ice, all right? All right, first question. So what's your favorite thing to do when you're not working?
Well, that's easy for me to answer. It's actually salsa dancing. I love to salsa dance. It's a true passion of mine. The Latin dance floor is a happy place for me. It's also a therapy. It's the gym, it's therapy. It's a lot of things for me. So I joke that the cover charge at clubs is a copay. It's just a real place that I love to be. So it's something I make a point to do several times a week and have for several years now. So I love Latin dance.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I have some people have told me I have two left feet, so I guess I got to do better at that. If I had to pay that cover charge, they might give it back and say don't come back anymore. But that's awesome that you find time to do that.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite entrepreneur or business person?
Oh, wow. There's so many people that inspire me, but a real standout for me lately is Marie Forleo. She just has such a way with her branding, and she's serving in such a high level way and stands out, just really stands out amongst the coaches in the industry. So I really look up to her and admire what she's up to in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I love Marie Forleo, Marie TV. Even though I guess it's not catered towards me. That's one of my guilty pleasures, so to speak, is to watch her videos and learn how to be a better business owner and entrepreneur. So that's awesome.
Very cool.
What's your favorite business quote?
Ah, you know, since we're here, the topic today is dreaming in business. A favorite business quote is by Michael Gerber. He says, "A business without a dream is like a life without a purpose."
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful.
It's
And
very
what about your favorite business book?
also Michael Gerber. My favorite business book, and I reference it a lot, is The E Myth. He talks about the three key categories or areas of a business that are a must for it to succeed, and why most businesses fail. So that's really kind of a business Bible for me, The E Myth by Michael Gerber. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it.
Yes, even if you have, I mean, definitely go and visit it again. I just love the way he takes some things you forget that business is about. You know, most people go to business as a passion or something that they want to do, but you forget that running a business is different from working in a kind of job, so to speak. So,
Yeah, absolutely it is. If you're not steering the ship and you're down in the trenches all the time, then that ship is going to hit a rock and sink. And it's a big mistake, and it's really easy to get tripped up there. But that book is awesome. I've highlighted it like stars, circles. You know, that book is written on for me. So that's a great book.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so I read your biography. So I guess could you tell us and start by telling us a little bit more about your business, anything that I didn't really speak to, and then what kind of led you to start your business, your background, and then your business.
Okay, okay. So as far as background, before starting my business, 11 plus years ago now, I worked at Brown University as part of an addiction treatment research team. And prior to that, just out of college, I worked at a psychiatric hospital, also part of a treatment team. So, really focused on behavior modification. So, I have a psychology bachelor's degree, and psychology and behavior modification is really a big part of my foundation for my work. And later on, I went on to get a master's degree in leadership. But for me, the coaching model aligns much more with my personal ethic than the psych model does. So, not in any way to knock it, there's absolutely a place for it. But my personal philosophy, it just doesn't fit for me to have to diagnose someone before I can help them. So we all have a story. We all have our gifts and our strengths and our weaknesses. And I just prefer to embrace our humanity and not look at it as a problem to be solved, but more as potentials, you know, to be unlocked and to be shared. And so I work with and support folks who are ready to really powerfully create from the present and to live their potentials and really take their life to a whole new level.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. So I guess could you tell us a little bit more about your business and what you do?
Sure, yeah. So the short of it, coming back to that passion that I spoke about on the dance floor, even more passionate than that, I'm really passionate about helping people live a life they can't wait to get up and out of bed for in the morning, right? That's what it's all about. So my clients are people who've reached a certain level of excellence in their life, contributing. They're responsible members of society, you know, who are craving to unlock their creativity, their heart-centered mission, perhaps, maybe even a legacy, and to at the same time create and live their days with more satisfaction and joy and fulfillment, and frankly, just delight in their life. You know, so people who are ready to live. In another book reference, what Gay Hendricks, who wrote The Big Leap, one of his many books, The Big Leap, he refers to it as the zone of genius. So that flow and that zone, that place where you're living out your personal genius and letting life be energizing and exciting and shining bright, and, you know, really creating that positive ripple effect that's possible when you're living in your zone of genius. So Create Your Life really serves people who are in their heart of hearts. They know there's got to be more than this, you know, whatever this is for them, and ready to invest in becoming their fully actualized self, and living and fulfilling their deepest dreams and their deepest desires.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I think that the biggest thing that people do is they forget that businesses are really made up of people, and really sometimes these businesses are started that someone has a vision or they have a passion or whatever it is that they have. And when you're trying to maybe even accelerate your business or get more out of your business, sometimes it starts and ends with you as the business owner or the entrepreneur. So sometimes people can kind of lose sight of that. So it's great that you focus on that and realize that to help people's to reach or even exceed their potential.
Yeah, you're the foundation that your business is standing on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
You definitely forget that.
yeah, making sure your personal foundation is strong is critical to the sustainability of your business. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, so what is your business name, and tell us how you came up with that name? Because I love it.
Okay, well, I'm glad you like it. There's a little bit of a story here. So let me just say first, so much of what I have learned has come from my own mistakes, as all of us, right? So when I first started my business, I named it Transition Coaching and Event Planning, which was all wrong, like all wrong, right? So people used to call me and ask if I planned weddings, and I'd be like, no, 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 like I've done this so wrong. So I quickly, just organically learned about branding in my business by making mistakes. And I quickly learned that, number one, transition really isn't fun. It's not a fun word. Nobody's rushing to sign up for transition. And I quickly discovered too that my clients and I were just having too much fun for the focus to be on the transition. So it was only a matter of time before I would ask them, okay, you know, what's the dream here? You know? So I realized that I needed to rebrand my business completely. And after rolling it around in my mind for a few weeks, I actually just woke up one morning and I just knew the name, Create Your Life, because that's what it's about. That's what it's about. It's about being intentional in creating your life. I just believe as humans that we are powerful creators, and it's really about harnessing that potential, that energy, and all in support of creating a life that delights you and that you're proud of and that you're excited about living. You know, happy people create a lot more than unhappy people. And as an entrepreneur myself, it's, you know, no coincidence that many, not all, but many of my clients have entrepreneurial dreams. So it's about creating your life, but it's also about creating a lifestyle that lights you up, that has you passionate about what you're up to in the world. So that's how I name my business.
Cool. That's awesome. Yeah. And the reason I just love about it is just because it puts I guess the burden, I guess, not, well, that's a bad word, but I'm sure there's a better word, on the entrepreneur to be able to build something that they want. So whatever you want in your life, it starts and ends with you again, which is what I love about the name.
Yeah, absolutely. There's self-responsibility in it.
That's a better word.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So I know you touched a little bit about you becoming a coach. So, and I know one of the big things about coaching is that it's not, I guess, finding a symptom and trying to correct things along those lines. It's not the negative that you spoke about it. So what is coaching to you, and how does it differ from maybe even some of the things you did in your background?
Okay, well, coaching is forward focused, first of all. And it's a powerful force. It's a powerful force when you find the right coach for you. So coaching is a skill, and it's an industry that if you're not helping people get results, you're not going to last in this marketplace. You know, every coach has their own style. something I like to say about my own personal style and approach is I'm playful, but I'm not playing. You know? So the creative process can be fun. And frankly, it moves much more quickly when there's joy and celebration energy behind it. But it's not always fun. And, I'm not your best friend, I'm your coach. And it's when it stops being fun that you need a coach to really guide and support you to stay on track. So my clients will tell you I'm fierce about showing up in such a way so that they know, like, I'm taking a firm stand for what's possible for them. There's no excuses. There's a quote by Miles Monroe. Are you familiar with Miles Monroe?
Not as much.
Okay.
I don't think so.
He was a leader. He was a minister. He died not too long ago. And he said that true leaders invest in people. He also said, and I'm paraphrasing here a bit, but he said, the wealthiest place on earth is not the gold mines of South Africa or the oil fields of the Middle East. It's the cemetery. I can barely say that without tears every single time, because that's where the books that were never written lie, and that's where the businesses that were never started lie, and the art and the innovation that was never brought to life. And it really moves me, that quote, and it's a truth that breaks my heart. And it's what fuels me to do this work, to not only invest in people, but to do everything I can to prevent dreams from dying within people.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah, and I have heard that quote before, and I know that when we had talked about how some people have visions or goals, but they just kind of stop from doing that. So, I guess what do you think are those things that might prohibit somebody from maybe taking that leap or taking that step? And yeah, what stops people from doing that? Why do people carry these books that were I guess written in their head to the graveyard, to the cemetery? Why does that happen?
Yeah, it's a really important question. And in a word, the answer is fear. Fear. Fear is nobody's stranger, right? And the truth is that fear can be your friend, right? Not all fear is bad. Not all fear is counterproductive. By all means, like if you're being chased by a tiger, Gresham, then by all means run, right?
Right.
So fear can, and it does, it serves us in many ways. But that said, what gets me really fired up is the fact that all too often fear sabotages dreams and it slows down success. Let me share a statistic with you. According to the American Psychological Association, 95% of people do not take action on their dreams because of fear. And 98% of that fear is unfounded. 98%.
Wow.
Wow. Right? Now, something to know about me is I like to make up words. And I like to refer to this 98% of unfounded fear or fake fear as a phobia. And I'm spelling that differently than usual. So F-A-U-X, right? A faux fear. Fake fears are what prevent 98% of the 95% of people who do not move their dreams into action. So what's happening here is that 95% of people use rationality to support inaction and belief in limitation. That means that the beliefs that are holding you back, the ones that are generating the fear, are made up. And this is what moves me to do the work that I do. My personal mission is to make sure that my clients are in the 5% who make it happen, despite fear, despite challenges and obstacles, and despite all the seeming reasonable reasons, right, that it won't work.
Right. That's very scary. I mean, obviously that's a huge number. 95% is not something to laugh at. That's huge. So you can definitely see, I guess, why those books or those songs or whatever it is people want to have and create don't ever make it out to the world, and it's scary and it's sad to a huge degree. So I guess when people might have this fear, they may not even know that it is fear. So how can you, I guess, see that that is fear or recognize something as fear? Or how does fear actually manifest itself?
Okay. So fear is tricky, right? Fear's job is to keep you at status quo, to keep you doing what you've always done. That's what keeps fear employed, right? I was joking with a client the other day that fear fears unemployment. Most of all. And, I mean, we got to give it credit. 95% of people, like, it's doing a hell of a job, sadly. It's very, very effective at its job. So in order to go beyond fear, we need to bust through fear's game. So here it is. Can I just spell this out here?
Absolutely. Have at it.
All right. I'm very fired up about this topic. Fear's game. It's what I like to call the fear domino effect. So here are some of the ways that fear can create a domino effect of unwanted outcomes. Fear can lead to procrastination, avoidance, missing that meeting or phone call, not following through on a task, rationalizing why things are good enough or why the timing is wrong, being immobilized by perfectionism, that's a biggie, thinking things through to the point of analysis paralysis. So all of these responses are just forms of fear's resistance. And they're also the breeding ground for feelings of frustration, of anger, of anxiety, of loneliness, of feeling victimized, of feeling stuck, scarcity mentality, the list goes on, being envious of others. So basically, the fear domino effect is that fear leads to inaction, which leads to feeling crummy. That's the technical term, I think. And then it's a self-sustaining pattern because feeling crummy just leads to more inaction, which causes more reason to fear. So you can see why this trap is challenging to be bigger than.
Right, that makes perfect sense. And I think one of the most powerful things is that I never looked at fear as something that was kind of living and breathing, so to speak. And I can kind of see that how you in the beginning, you said fear's job is to do this, this, and this. So sometimes you forget, you just think that fear is maybe something that doesn't, I guess, isn't fluid, doesn't move and doesn't continue, but it's something that can creep up on you and manifest itself in those ways that you explained. So.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think of it as personifying your fear. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Breathing.
Mm-hmm. So we know kind of like what fear is to some degree. We kind of know exactly how it manifests itself. So how do we, I guess you never really get rid of fear, but how can we help maybe battle fear or face fear and not allow it to kind of paralyze us?
Okay. Yeah. You've got to stay on top of fear's game because it is along for the ride, the long haul. Eliminate the fear. I hear people touting that, and I want to say that's bunk. That is bunk. Fear can be minimized. It can also be managed, but it is not going to disappear altogether. Sorry, it is not going anywhere. As long as you're doing something new, fear is part of it, right? New territory, there's fear. That's human. So in my work with clients, I guide them through a coaching process that I have adapted from a proven and powerful psychological process that's known as flooding. It's also sometimes referred to as exposure therapy. So in the psych world, this is a treatment approach to cure people of phobias, spelled the correct way. So things like fear of leaving the house, or someone that has an immobilizing fear of spiders, for example. My adapted version of it is what I call the freedom from phobias process. And there's much more to it than I think we have time to go into fully here today, but I'm going to share the three basics of this process, okay? So the first step, often the hardest step, is to notice where there's inaction, where there's procrastination or slow progress, and really get honest and raise your awareness level about the story that fear is telling you. So listen to it. In other words, we usually want to squash it and say, shh. But in this case, we actually want to listen. Let it tell you the story. So get really clear on what it is that you're afraid will happen. That's really key. That's really important. What on a tangible level are you afraid will happen? So in other words, what's the story that fear is telling you about if you go for it? What's the tragedy? What's the worst? It's about being bigger and braver than fear. Brave people are not without fear. If they were, what in the world would they need bravery for? Right? Think about it. So the second step is really about stretching. Imagine like a rubber band, just stretching beyond fear, even if only just a teensy tiny bit, and accessing that new level of bravery so that you can gain the traction and be in action, even in the face of fear. So step 3, in short, is about doing the doing, right? Taking those next challenging but doable action steps to move forward and really stay with it. So.
Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I always love having, step-by-step guides, because it helps you to know exactly what to do and what steps to take to kind of go and reach whatever the goal is. So we appreciate that.
Absolutely. And let me say one more thing about that. If it's done in full, it's foolproof. If you take each of those 3 steps, it is foolproof. You will move forward. So when you notice it's slowing you down, stop and notice what's going on, what the story is, have it be witnessed until you're brave enough to do the next doing, and then do the next doing. And that's really the secret sauce.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, and they always say the quickest way. What is the quickest way to eat an elephant? Is one bite at a time, or the best way?
Yeah, I've
That's
never
good.
eaten an elephant, but yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah, me neither. But I know how to if I ever need to. That's the point. All right. So obviously, most of our listeners and our viewers are entrepreneurs and business owners. So what advice would you give to them if they want to maybe start a business and maybe they're, feeling afflicted by fear? Obviously, we have the steps, but is there anything additional you would tell them?
Yeah, start. Start from exactly where you are with exactly what you have. Don't buy your own excuses about why you can't. I have built my business. It started with 3 pro bono clients. That's what I had. And I started. And one of those 3 sent me all her friends and became a paying client. And that's really how I started my business. So start with what you have, where you are. I did not have startup money. I did not have any of that. So figure out and ask yourself, a great question to ask yourself every day, including today, is what's one thing that you can do in the next 24 hours to move this dream or your business forward? And then go do that. And absolutely as well, you know, if things aren't moving as quickly as you'd like, then get support. You know, expand your dream team, I like to call it. And, you know, the right support makes all the difference. I can speak to that firsthand as well.
Yeah, definitely. Your dream team or your team, you know, a lot of people that achieve success is largely because of people in their corner as much as what they do themselves. So that's awesome that you do that. So I guess, Tara, do you have a way for us to get in touch with you? And also, would you like to, you had something you wanted to give away to our listeners and viewers as well, too?
Yes, yes, I do. So great. So I've created this 5-day e-program that I'm really, really excited to share with your viewers. It's called the 5-day Mission Possible Experiments in Action Program. So it can be claimed on my website, which I'll share in just a moment. But for each day, for 5 days, you'll receive in your email inbox an experiment of the day that by design you can incorporate into your day, no matter how busy your schedule is. And this program just walks you through a powerful process showing you how to stop living for later immediately and how to really go from fear to clear and gain that traction and that momentum that you need to make the impossible possible. You know, something I'll add to that too is 1% possible means it ceases to be impossible. Just 1%. So if you can find that 1% belief, then it's no longer impossible in your mind. And then expanding the 1% to 2%. So, yeah, so the 5-day Mission Possible Experiments in Action program, claim it, grab it, have it, do it. So you can find that at createyourlifeinc.com. That's www.createyourlifeinc.com.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. And we'll definitely make sure that we have that link directly in this video so you'll be able to scroll down and see it. Is there anything else you wanted to tell us, Sarah? You gave some phenomenal tips and tidbits that we all need to take action on today. Not wait till tomorrow. Let's do it today.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you wanted to add for us?
You know, I just want to say thank you so much. You know, we met in a chance meeting, and I'm so glad we took this opportunity to connect and to share both of our messages with the world. And you're just doing great work, and I'm so glad to be here. And I hope everyone will claim that 5-day program, my gift from my heart to yours. 1 week from now, you will see the impact of it if you start with it today. So say yes, do the doing, show up. So that's it. Thanks again.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And you have a great rest of the day.
Thank you. You too.